guys, it is Tristan with Nerdouts Newsstand, and it is New Comic Book Day, and we are going to look at a title I absolutely loved. Now, we probably should be talking about something like Fear State that has begun, and it is set to be a much bigger event than even Joker War was. Now, I am curious to see how it goes, but I'm going to kind of let a couple issues go past before I start reviewing the material. What I do want to talk about, though, today is Harley Quinn Annual Number 1. Now, this story is done by Stephanie Phillips, and the art is by David LaFontaine. I absolutely love the art in it. There are a couple minor critiques I would say I had, but as compared to the artist of the past, and by that I mean specifically Riley Rossmo, I absolutely love it. It is definitely much better. A little step down from Harley Quinn number 6, but then again, that art was fantastic. So let's take a look at it. If you are new to the channel, make sure you hit subscribe. As always, hit like. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you thought of this issue, or if you've been following Stephanie Phillips' run on Harley Quinn. It's been really good. The writing is solid. Initially, I almost got out of it because of the art alone, and I'm actually glad that I didn't. I'm actually glad that I stuck with this title because it's been really good. Now, what we're going to see here is Solomon Grundy teaming up with Kevin, and if you don't know, Kevin is basically Harley's new Robin, her new sidekick, and I absolutely love the character. But Harley has gone missing, and we're going to hear a lot of the story of Harley being missing through Kevin's dialogue and through his flashbacks. He tries to go to Mr. Freeze to see if he can help in any way, shape, or form, and that's how we really learn what's going on. Now, we see, obviously, a little bit of a fight. He freezes Kevin. Get it? He freezes Kevin. Okay. There's a bunch of, not a bunch. There's a couple freeze basically jokes. And then we learn a little bit more about Keepsake. Now, going a little bit of a flashback, we see Harley and Kevin are actually being able to have a decent time together. They're actually able to kind of relax even with everything that's going on in Gotham. But then we get to meet Keepsake. Now, Keepsake is absolutely 100%. Okay, maybe not 100%, but definitely supposed to be that creeper guy that just won't leave you alone, that's a little entitled and blamed everybody else for his problem. He is a giant. I'm gonna keep my thoughts to myself till we learn a little bit more about this character. But he initially, when we meet him, he thinks Harley Quinn owes him. He thinks everybody owes him. He thinks everybody is basically, nothing is his own fault, right? And I kind of love it. I laughed out loud quite a few times. But he says, "You owe me." And she's like, "Why? Why do I owe you? Who are you?" He used to work for the Joker. And he only had eyes for Harley Quinn, and he felt kind of left in the dark, right? He felt like the Joker wasn't paying enough attention to him. And he's like, the audacity of him to fire me for you. Okay. He's like, so sorry. Harley's like, I'm sorry. And he, of course that's not good enough because it's never good enough, right? So he wants to go to dinner with her. He'll pay. Creeper will pay. And that's exactly what happens. Now, Kevin, telling this story to Freeze, is explaining why dinner. And it's basically because he wanted to have time to talk alone with her, but Kevin wasn't going to allow that, right? Kevin's too much of a friend to her to actually allow her to go alone. So they do go to dinner. It doesn't last very long, right? Kevin is the waiter. Even, Harley doesn't even know this. But he thinks it's all a setup. Everybody's out to get him, right? Yeah, that's about right. And they end up fighting a little bit. But he has a new type of keepsake or Joker toxin. It's Joker toxin, but he calls it keepsake toxin. And he actually takes Harley Quinn. Kevin wakes up and he doesn't know what to do. And he goes to Solomon. Solomon and Harley have been friends since the beginning of this run. They have a bond. And Solomon takes him to Penguin because within the dinner date that they had, he actually had Penguin's umbrella, right? So they break into Penguin's, and nobody wants anything to do with this guy, by the way. Everybody has fired him, but he steals something from every single person. He's like a kleptomaniac. Get it? Keepsake. So he took one of his umbrellas. He hates the guy. He says, don't bother me again. And then we go to Cheshire. And Cheshire doesn't like him. Doesn't want them there. But when she realizes who they're talking about, she says, she'd kill him herself if she'd seen him. And he's creepy. And he wouldn't stop staring at her. And he made far too many juvenile jokes about swords. I fucking love it. I love it so much. So they go to the prison. They talk to Two-Face. They talk to Riddler. They talk to Moth. And well, see, it's weird to me. This they say Killer Moth, but I definitely thought that was supposed to be Firefly. I don't know. So anyways, he's got something from each of them. None of them like them. Even the B, D, and C villains hate him. So the reason they all sent him to Freeze was because Freeze, he stole a gun from Freeze, and he actually has GPS in his gun. He says, well, sorry, I'm not going to help you. And Kevin gets irately mad. And that's so, not in Kevin's character. So I loved it because he's protecting Harley, right? The only thing he wants to do is protect Harley. So he ends up helping under one basic trade-off, right? And we'll find out that trade-off here in a minute. But we catch up with Harley and Keepsake. And Keepsake has, basically built an entire brand new Ace Chemical setup for Harley. Okay, all right. Well, he's creepy. He puts her old uniform on her, and he basically wants her. She says, what do you want? And she's like, that I want you. Yeah, just don't do that, right? Just don't do that. It's creepy. So anyways, he did this all for her. He's obsessed with her, right? So she gets mad. I love the way these panels are put out here with the green in the background and the pink stars. It flows so well, the coloring that's done there. I really like the way that's done. So she gets out. He calls her an ungrateful little and he did this all for her. Everything he did was for her. He just wants her to, complete and be subjugated again, I guess, basically. And he's saying, you're not a hero. You're not. Nobody's ever going to forgive you. Nobody is ever going to be interested in you. Basically, anything you could to make someone feel bad. Well, she ends up falling down. And right on time, Kevin and Solomon show up. And they end up saving her. And it's a sweet, sweet little ending here where we learn more about Kevin. We learn more about Keepsake. And then, of course, they blow up Ace Chemicals. One more time, because it never gets old, right? So we do end up finding out what the trade-off was. And the trade-off was they had to appear at Mr. Freeze's nephew's birthday as the entertainment. And it's so cute. It's such a simple, innocent thing. But we see kind of a look at Kevin, and he has to dress up like a clown. Now, mind you, he used to be part of the Joker gang, and he's trying to redeem himself. And he has to look at himself in the mirror every day with those Joker tattoos. So when he sees himself as a clown, he wonders if he is ever going to be able to change. And he wonders if he is any different than Keepsake. And he asks Harley, and she's like, no, you were nothing like those people. Just because I went ice skating months doesn't mean I'm like Michelle Pfeiffer. He says, don't you mean Michelle Kwan? There was a cute little joke about Ethan Hawke and Tony Hawk in the beginning, very similar. But I love this ending here where she says, I don't know, maybe point is you try every single day to do better than you were yesterday. I'm not a great role model, but I think that's what this is about. We fucked up. We know that. We can't undo it. But you and I think we still have plenty to offer. I love that ending. So then we get a little teaser for the next one for Harley Quinn 7. And he says, Harley Quinn has no idea. She thinks my gimmick is just stolen weaponry. I love being underestimated. I very seriously doubt he's underestimated. Maybe that's the point of all of this, because he's not a great villain. He's more like a creeper. He's more like an entitled brat, an entitled grown-ass man that can't take no for an answer. But we'll have to wait and see. Maybe I'm wrong on that one. I'm not sure. But it was really good. I really enjoyed this video. It was wholesome for a Harley. Okay, it was not completely wholesome, but for Harley Quinn, come on now. It's as wholesome it's gonna get. I really, really enjoyed it. So let me know, of course, what you guys thought about Harley Quinn, about any books this week, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.